And we're back. And this week I have a strange mix of comics for you. We're going to talk about Silver Surfer Black and his weird Albus Dumbledore hand, and also The Prince and the Dressmaker, because it's Pride. Happy Pride. So without further ado, let's talk comics. Let's start with Silver Surfer Black because it is the shortest of the two books that I read this week, and it was really good. I have to say, I don't know much about Silver Surfer. Oh, here we go. I saw that movie with him in it. Sorry to bring that up for anyone who's sensitive to Fantastic Four content and what happened there. Anyway, it was really interesting in this title to sort of see what the Silver Surfer was, who he is, and what his psyche's like. And yeah, because there is a sort of otherness to him. He's a little strange. He reminds me a lot of Dr. Manhattan. They're both sort of weird physically, but also super ripped and also emotionally unavailable. And I also think I'm getting into some weird personal things for me, and I'm really sorry, but there's something about him that isn't quite human, and yet he has so many of these human qualities: empathy, sympathy, searching for a sense of identity. And that was really sort of the overarching theme of this comic. He does know who he is, but he's contending with some real issues from things that he's seen and things that he's done. And Silver Surfer, being a sort of galactic entity, has many, many ways his story can go, and he's been written for a long time, so it'll be really cool to see where he goes here. And I really liked the idea of him being super powerful and sort of trying to have to wrangle with that on an emotional level, and also not wanting to like murder people if at all possible. And but he does get to show off his powers in this book, and when he uses his really strong powers, he gets old Dumbledore hand. You know, remember in Harry Potter when his hand got all weird because he was doing the thing. Anyway, a little nerd crossover for you there. But this book was beautifully drawn, not only because it had crazy psychedelic colors and amazing contrast, dark and light, but something about the drawings were so smooth, which is such a weird adjective to use when you're talking about drawing. And I should give you this caveat now that I can't draw, but I like art with my eyes, and that's about as far as I can communicate art to you. I took one art appreciation class in college, and it was great, and I appreciated it, but this is about as scholarly as we're going to be able to get about comic art. Sorry. I enjoyed it, is what I'm trying to say. My eyeballs enjoyed it, and that's about as good as I can give you. But like I said, I really enjoyed delving deeper into this character because I've read things with Silver Surfer in it in the past, but I've never read something completely dedicated to Silver Surfer. So if you're a Silver Surfer fan, pick up this comic. I really enjoyed it. And I'm not necessarily a Silver Surfer fan, but I find his character intriguing, and this comic made you want to read more about him, and I think that's the point, no? Anyway, let's move on to The Prince and the Dressmaker. This book made me weep. I love this book. It was so good. And my friend Anne has been telling me to read it for months, and I don't know why I put it off. It looks kind of long, but it's a book for middle readers, so I read it really quickly. In fact, before I started to stand here and make this video, I was like, oh, I gotta read this book. I said I was gonna read this book, you know, and then I started it, and I was like, well, I'll start it, I'll finish it the next day. And I finished it all in one sitting because I could not put it down, and that's how good it really was. It's about a prince at the dawn of the modern age who befriends this dressmaker because he likes to dress in women's clothing, and of course at the time it's not accepted, but it is a book about the journey of identity and what it means to sort of be able to give into the parts of you that you feel like other people won't accept, and what happens when you do. And it's just truly, truly so beautiful. I think it should be required reading, like in school or something, because you or someone you love is part of the LGBTQIA+ community, and I think it's really important that at a young age we show representation and we show that things aren't always black and white, that things can be fluid, and just because somebody likes to dress in women's clothes doesn't mean that they're gay or that they want to be trans, or maybe they are gay or maybe they are trans, and all of those things are okay and acceptable and lovely, and they're worthy of love and celebration, and they're worthy of being a protagonist in a book. And they are. The Prince and the Dressmaker was so lovely. I've already recommended it to two of my coworkers, one of which has a kid who I recommended it to, but the other one I was like, just read this, it's so good. I know it's for like middle readers, but that's okay. You can still enjoy it, and I certainly did. Now, it's Pride, and that's why I read this book, because it's about identity and the journey of a young boy who's in the LGBTQIA+ community, and yeah, it's Pride. Happy Pride. That's really all I have to say about that. I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope that you are prideful. I will give you some trigger warnings for this book if you are part of the LGBTQIA+ community, because in this book, the little boy ends up having a very supportive family, and I know that that can be kind of triggering for some people who maybe don't have a supportive family. And if you're looking for resources because you don't feel supported or you don't have a supportive family, here are some resources, and I'll put a bunch of links in the description box below for you. I love you, I see you, happy Pride. And we have some nerd news to get to in the movies and stuff. I haven't seen Dark Phoenix because I'm sad. This is gonna be the last X-Men movie for some time, the Marvel franchise people have said, since they bought up the rights to it, which is a bummer because, as you know, the X-Men are my favorite franchise of comic books. I think there are so many stories in there just waiting to be told that they are really crapping the bed about. Speaking of crapping the bed, Dark Phoenix has such bad reviews that I decided not to see it. Let me know in the comments, or maybe on my Twitter or my Instagram if I am missing out on something. I don't think that I am. I've heard from a few people that I'm really not. But, you know, I'd watch Michael Fassbender do anything, to be honest, and even still, I haven't gotten to see it. And Endgame's gonna be re-released with new footage. What do you think about that? Are you excited? I'm excited. I have not seen Endgame again because I don't think I want to put myself through that emotional turmoil again. I spent 3 hours crying, basically, into my popcorn next to some strangers. Sorry about it, guys. So I wasn't sure that I wanted to go through all that again, but if they're releasing it with new footage, duh, I have to see it. But do you think it's like a weird money grab? I kind of think about, I obviously don't make movies. I'm certainly not comparing what I do in my job or what I do here in this room with you to anything the Russo brothers have ever done. But that being said, when I go out and shoot things, sometimes I have an abundance of footage, and sometimes it can't always fit into a package that goes on TV, which is very short, or sometimes I just feel like it doesn't fit the narrative or the flow of things when I put it on the internet. And so I'm left with this cool footage. I'm like, oh, what a bummer. I kind of feel like that's what's happening. The Russo brothers are like, oh, we shot all this cool stuff, and now we don't know what to do with it because like the Avengers are kind of over, and you know, we'll just re-release the movie with all that stuff we wanted to put in there and couldn't do it the first time because nobody wanted to sit through a 5-hour movie. I might have sat through a 5-hour movie, honestly, but I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me. Am I gonna see it? Absolutely. Do I think it's a weird money grab? I don't know. Like, I'd like to think that they know the responsibility that sits upon their shoulders with the power of this nerddom, but on the same token, capitalism. I don't know. What do you think? Are you going to see it again? Are you going to wait till it comes out to DVD? That's another question I have. When it comes out to DVD, you're going to have one DVD of the way it was when it first came out and then a DVD of how it was when it came out the second time? I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts and questions. It's fine. Speaking of the Russo brothers, they're also making a Magic the Gathering show. Do you care about that? I don't really know anything about Magic the Gathering. I don't play any card games, really. I played Pokemon when it was popular back in the late 90s and like early 2000s, but I didn't know about it. I liked the holographic Jigglypuff because it was pink. That being said, I think it's really cool that things that are fringe nerd culture to people who don't participate in nerd culture are being brought into the spotlight, and I hope you think it's cool too. It's cool that other people will like things that you like. Trust me, it's cool. Don't be weird about it. Some people on the internet were being really weird about it, and I don't like that. Let people enjoy things. But I might give it a watch. I like high fantasy things, which is what I think this is gonna be. Are you interested in this at all? Are you interested just because the Russo brothers are involved? Or are you interested because you like Magic the Gathering? Should I play Magic the Gathering? Would I be bad at it? I can't sit through a game of Monopoly, so I want you to know that's where my attention span's at. I know it took me forever to get to Anne's recommendation of The Prince and the Dressmaker, and I'm really kicking myself for it. That being said, I would really like to hear your recommendations, and I promise to get to them more quickly than I got to Anne's. Sorry, Anne, I love you. But I want to know what you're reading. I want to know what you're loving. I want to know what you think that I might like. It can be old, it can be new. I just want this to be an open conversation about comics and stuff. My comic reading sort of path has been pretty linear. Up until now, I read things that I think that I would like, and since I started these videos, I've been reading stuff that I never thought I would read, and I've been really enjoying it. So, you know, maybe spin the top in a different direction. I would really appreciate it. You can get a hold of me here in the YouTube comments, or on Twitter, or Instagram. Mostly on Instagram, I post pictures of my dog and plants. So if you enjoy that kind of content, you can find me there. On Twitter, well, you guys know what Twitter's like. So that's really all I have for you today. I will see you guys next week, same-ish time, same place, and until then, this has been KGW's Comic Book of the Week.